chizuk that have been going around for this week and the last few days, and that will continue to go around. And I wanted to just learn together what has become my favorite Rashi on Chumash, certainly since a very special pshat was shared with me by a dear friend, Rabbi Dr. Dovid Hershel. And I think in these times, always, but certainly in these times, the message of this Rashi speaks to me, and I think speaks to all of us. The Chumash tells us in Parshas Noach, in Perek Zayin, Pasuk Zayin, Vayavo Noach uvanav v'ishto nisheva navito el hateva mipnei mei hamabel. That Noach, with his sons and his wife and his sons' wives, they went into the teva because of the waters of the Mabel. And Rashi, right on the spot, in this pasuk says, mipnei mei hamabel, Noach the tzaddik af Noach mikitone emuna haya. That Noach the tzaddik was of little faith. Ma'amin ve'ino ma'amin sheyavo mabel. He believed, and he also didn't believe that the Mabel was going to come. He was wavering. And he didn't go into the teva until the waters came. And it's always bothered me and many others as to how is it possible that Noach the tzaddik, this person, didn't believe that Hashem was actually going to do this, that he spent all the time. So I want to share a story that means a lot to me and to our family, and a different reading of this Rashi that I think inspires all of us at this time. And the story is of our cousin, our dear relative, the Blushver Rebbe, Zechuso Yagen Aleinu. And the Rebbe was famous during the war and after the war, having inspired and literally saved physically and spiritually so many Jews. And it was a cold night in Bergen-Belsen, and the Nazis, Yimach Shemam V'Zichram, came and they asked all of the Jews in the barracks to come out. They barely could walk. They were skeletons. Their feet were, if anything, swollen, but just flesh and bone. And they told all of the Jewish males that they would have to jump over a large pit. And as always, the people around the Rebbe turned to the Rebbe for inspiration. And one close friend turned to him and said, Rebbe, it's literally impossible. We can barely walk. We are getting older. How are we going to jump over the pit? And the Rebbe turned to the man and said, we don't have a choice. We must use all of our kochos, take a running start and jump over the pit. And sure enough, at the same time, the Rebbe and this man ran and jumped over the pit. And when they got to the other side, they were shocked. They couldn't believe that all the people that they had jumped over and the bodies and the people that they'd seen killed, but yet they miraculously made it over to the other side. And so the man turned to the Rebbe and said, Rebbe, how is it possible? How did you make it over the pit? And the Rebbe said, I jumped and I closed my eyes, I took my hands up and I grabbed onto the coat, to the gartel, to the bekisha of my ancestors, of my father, my grandfather, all the way back to the Rambam and to Moshe and to Avram and Yitzchak and Yaakov. I believed in myself. I believed that with their help I could get over the pit. And the Rebbe turned to the man and said, Sir, how is it possible? How did you get over the pit? And the man said, Rebbe, as you were holding on to their coattails, I literally was holding on to your bekisha. And so this story inspires for many reasons, but for me it speaks to the belief in ourselves, the belief that we can accomplish anything, and the belief that if we believe in each other, if we believe in the chizuk of each other, we can literally do anything. And so we can reread Rashi as the Hasidic Rebbes often do. And the same words, just moving the comma over one small word. That it says, Rashi says, Noach went into the teva mipnei mei hamabel, because of the waters of the flood. And we can read it, Af Noach mikitane emuna hayamamin, that Noach believed in those of little faith. He believed in the people around him despite how horrible they were. And at Kal Vachomer, if they would have been great, he believed in them. Ve'eno ma'amin sheyavo hamabel. And so he believed that it was impossible that Hashem would bring the Mabel. That it was impossible that they wouldn't do tshuva, that it wouldn't become better, that the greatness of the world and of human dignity wouldn't shine through. And therefore he didn't come into the teva until he was actually forced in. And this week has shown us, these last 2 weeks have shown us the worst and worst and worst of humanity. Things that only the Blushver Rebbe and that generation saw in the Holocaust, we've seen with our own eyes. So we've seen the horrific and horrors that people can bring, but we've also seen the greatness of Klal Yisrael. And in our work and in the broader world, it is up to us, and it is our mission and our job to believe in ourselves and to believe in each other and the power that we have to change the world. And if we do that, not only will we get through this terrible tkufa, but I'm confident that we will bring Mashiach Tzidkenu b'mehera v'yameinu.
שום אוויר, אני רוצה להיות תלוי על חוט השערה באמצע הים, צועק בכל כוחי, תן לי תפילה
should all have strength during this terribly challenging time and merit to see peace speedily in our times and a rapid end to this tremendously challenging, difficult period.
תציל אותי